So once again, world of YouTube, back here with another article on Mr. Allen, and this is from his defense team. And of course, they're talking about this so-called Bullitt found, and I did get a comment today that the gun was registered in Delphi, Illinois, or whatever, Indiana, which I don't know how that, they must, run different laws out there to let military firearms to be registered in a civilian's hand. I know there was a huge list of not only United States military, but military around the world that has them guns. So I'm still finding it hard to believe that this guy could have registered one, but hey, if the laws out there allow you, then that so be it. But the laws do not allow assumptions, nor let alone how a gun of a man got to a crime scene, which whoever wrote this article started calling him Rick. But that's another thing I like to bring up in these articles. Some things be said, some things are changed, some things are messed up. Someone also commented on my video talking about, they never heard of this or something about somewhat. But whatever the case may be, I find it very, informing, whether it be right or wrong. Oh, that's what it was about Richard having 2 kids. And supposedly he only has 1 daughter. So, I don't know where someone got that piece from, but once again, these articles I love to go over because, right, you'll never know what is missing, what is true, what is not true, what is put in extra that don't belong, like him having 2 kids but only has 1. And, articles saying that you're not allowed to buy this gun, but supposedly comments come up that you can have that kind of weapon. And now getting a side glimpse of this Richard Allen. He's a fat porker. And yes, he is very short. And still, there's a lot more into this investigation than just one gun, 1 bullet to tie a man to a friggin' murder. Because even in this, they still won't give description on what happened to them girls. Now, whether or not he discharged a bullet by cocking back the clip, say so, to load the bullet in the gun, or mistakenly goofing up but they're saying this bullet was in the gun, but literally, was somehow taken out, which I don't get that. If I'm for damn sure when you watch some types of fiction movies, and they show you how easy it is to retrack a gun, even though they're using fake bullets or whatnot, let alone people still getting killed by firearms in friggin' movies. So, but just to think how this gun got misused, and you would think someone at that advantage of having a gun pointed at someone, why and forever God-forsaken goddamn reason why would someone have to take a bullet out, let alone put the bullet in, retract the gun? That don't make no damn sense to me. And I dropped it on the ground and I left it there. It still don't make no damn sense. And where they're calling it the magic bullet, yeah, I'm about to wonder how it magically appeared at a crime scene. Excuse me. Supposedly this guy has never been committed of a crime. I mean, he's confused just as well as the rest of us. Well, me, in fact. Does not release how these girls still were killed. What this setup was, this bizarre crime scene of dolls. The way they were positioned. Clothing missing. Let alone were these girls stabbed. And supposedly they lost an amount of blood. I mean, you go back into this friggin' case and you think of everything that was friggin' said. But yet this guy, this Allen, comes up with one gun, drops a bullet, leads it to his gun, but still no actual cause of death of how he did this. There is no altercation of changing his appearance. And supposedly this guy took a regular walk on the trail, as it says in this. I mean, this case is just getting more bizarre, more intensely insane than one could ever imagine. Unspent bullet. Probable cause affidavit did not reveal how the girls died, but stated Allen was connected to the crime. Okay. Just because he was, and then he mentions the 3 girls that day. 3 younger girls. But yet, we got all these witnesses, but Doug Carter said there was no witnesses that day. Still, once again, and there's no amount of time or a friggin' amount of times, I'm going to say this, where is that woman that disappeared? Where is that goddamn woman that disappeared? I want her back. If they got the killer, she shouldn't be fearing for her life. She should come back here and identify Allen, being the one she spoke to that day. But yet there was no witnesses. The Doug Carter said it strictly on a friggin' video in a press conference. There was no witnesses that day. But yet there was, and now there's 3 younger teenage girls that were there. He came in contact with. And what gets me is, how this guy would get involved in this case, how he is tied to this case, because it seems like everybody that was or is and was accused, and just because, it's been 5 long years, and I don't think that you could go back into the beginning of this case and ever, and I wonder if this will get altered, and I'm about to wonder if this will happen with articles being disappeared. I don't remember reading no bullets being found at no crime scene when I first started this case. And now I can't even remember if I have a video up of anything being said about this case and at the crime scene. But I honestly can say that I do not remember anything about a bullet being retracted or whatever, out of a gun, put in, spit out, whatever. Yeah, there was a gun, but this is the first time I've ever heard of a bullet being brought into this case. Let alone a gun that supposedly cannot be bought nor used by civilians. I mean, that's all they got on this guy, is this bullet. at the crime scene. What about the DNA? What about the clothing that he said he was wearing similar clothing? Yeah, that right there would make you look real dumb and stupid. But, hey, if he was wearing, like, similar clothing or whatnot, I mean, that let alone, where is it? Have they brought that clothing forth or even found it to match it up in the video? Let alone the little pocket bag around the waist, which I think still they have a meat cutting apron from the meat cutters. Because you know what? Even that being said, going through all this evidence that was thrown out there, let alone people talking about stuff that was said, you know, oh my God. This case is doing nothing but driving you and spinning you into a goddamn circle, making you dizzy. And all this stuff that was said. Now it's all pretty much thrown out the door in the trash. And here's where they start calling him Rick. Rick wanted to help any way he could, but it's Rich. But I mean, oh my God, this case is just so spiraling out of control in my eyes. And here we go with the PT Cruiser. Once again, vehicles described as white sedans, not SUVs, let alone that little minivan, the Nissan minivan there that was used or taken a picture of leaving that day too. A smart car. If anybody confuses a smart car with any car, you definitely don't need to be putting your 2 cents in on a witness stand. Because if you're getting a friggin' car, a PT Cruiser, messed up with... Goddamn some bitch, my damn video just froze, cut off. But anyways, I was talking about the PT Cruiser. And if anybody who has the right of mind to confuse the PT Cruiser with any vehicle, because that is a distinctive 1930s looking coupe, and the grill and the front bumper pretty much all have the same similarities together. And whoever's gonna mess it up and consider it a smart car, yeah, you really need some glasses. Hey, wait a minute. Here, borrow mine. Borrow mine to get a smart car confused with a PT Cruiser, let alone a PT Cruiser mixed up with any type of vehicle. Because like I say, that is a very, very distinctive vehicle that was supposed to imitate imagery of the 1930s cars. So with that being said, moving on in this case, he supposedly still has this Ford Focus, I believe. I believe, yeah, they say this, right? Allen did not get rid of his vehicle or his guns, did not throw out his clothing, did not alter his appearance or relocate himself to another community after the girls were found dead. He did what any innocent man would do and continue with his normal routine. So, you know, going back, and everybody's got to look into this case and got to go over and remember what has been said and what is now being said. And all in all, folks, I am just... And they swore up and down the Young sketch. The Young sketch was more in the right, correct drawing of this person. And even that is not relevant in this case no more. You must throw them all out the door because it's all a joke. And even though, you have a person of interest that don't match nothing? How do you even get a sketch when Doug Carter said there was no witnesses that day? You know, everything is literally got to go back in time, re-looked at. Hell, I might even have to start looking into my videos to see what was said and mentioned back then and what is now being said. And I'll tell you, that Bullitt, I could show you 100 grand. I'll show you 100 grand to say that Bullitt was never mentioned in the beginning of this case. And all of a sudden now it is. But then again, you're going to find them articles missing. You'll find them articles probably maybe even updated, but they're going to be disappearing. So, if anybody, and that's why I do these videos, man, I put up what things are said. I show the titles, the most important, when they're put up. And that's why I do these videos, because I know for a fact that if there is anything that is said about a bullet, I mean, not a bullet in previous articles, there was no bullet found or even mentioned in any of them articles are now probably going to disappear. I'm about to wonder if you go on Wikipedia right now. But they don't give the full details either. Because back in them days, when it first started, they didn't have much to go on because they weren't releasing much either. But I ain't never heard of anything being spit out as a bullet being found. Just weird dolls, you know, weird positions, unclothed, loss of blood, which if you are shot, you would have to be shot to lose that blood, let alone be stabbed. Was the firearm shot? Was there a bullet found? No, it was just found at the murder scene. That's it. But when? Is there articles back in the day, 5 years ago, stating there was a bullet found at that scene? Let alone a gun being used. Was there a bullet found? Would they at least put that in an article? So you would have to go back at least 3 years ago of old articles to see what they say about anything being found, because, you know, remember also, we can't throw out much details on this case because we don't want to kill it or know or ruin anything or screw something up. So that bullet could have been planted later on. Because if they kept everything sealed and kept the murder scene sealed of what had happened that day, then of course, then maybe there will not be no indications of a bullet. That's right. Only right now, because the case is being opened. Someone is convicted. And that could have rightly been thrown in there later on in the case. Just recently. Why? Because who's ever behind it can. That's my thoughts, theories on this, folks. And I want more info. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still not, you know, jumping on that bandwagon yet to say this is the day we have caught the man who done it. Because obviously there's got to be a lot more presented in this case for evidence to prove this man's guiltiness. And if that does not come out, then the goddamn justice system is just as crooked as any biker club out there, supposedly, that is the terrorizing, you know, terrifying destructions of this earth. But you know what? They're not the only ones out there doing wrong. And even if they ain't, or if they are, how about the government? How about law enforcement? How about these crooked cops? How about take a real look into reality? Stop being blindsided of what's really going on there, out there in Delphi, Indiana. But once again, folks, these are just thoughts, theories, and ideas. You just can't go on the based facts, especially in this case. I won't. I refuse. But it does give you more to think about, folks. What's really going on? Huh? Yeah, I don't like it. And I want more proof for this man to be convicted. More proof. I want the scene of the crime finally shown in its entirety, in its truth, in its realism. Not sealed in a folder. Not, oh, we don't need that because we found the bullet. That's it. He killed him. Where's that knife? What made that cause of loss of blood? That was mentioned, right? Either they were shot or stabbed. I want it to be shown and known. I want more stuff on this case, not just the basics. To be satisfied. How about you? Please let me know. I will not jump the wagon yet. Once again, I don't know how many times I can say it. Not enough people, not enough evidence. Sorry. Till that next video, be safe, take care, always beware. As I believe BG is still out there. Out.